this is Anne McDowell, and she is from HubSpot, and she's going to tell us all about why we should use HubSpot and why, because we're in e-commerce. So why do we need HubSpot? So Anne, you're a customer success manager, and you are actually one of my success managers in HubSpot. And I love talking to you and creating this opportunity to actually build out my business on HubSpot. So tell me, why should an e-commerce platform or e-commerce store use HubSpot?
Absolutely. Well, I'm delighted to be here today and to be talking to all of these wonderful folks who are joining in this exciting conference opportunity. So I joined HubSpot after being a customer and using HubSpot myself. And what blew me away as a HubSpot user was the access to information and the functionality of the system in ways that I had previously been unable to derive information about the contacts with whom I was working. And I think that the applicability of this and the value of bringing all of your information together into a CRM that allows you other functionalities that pertains to what your sales team is doing, what your marketing team is doing, what your services team is doing, provides you with a lot of power. Information, the data that you can pull about the folks who are shopping through your site, with whom you're working, can help you to really identify what your goals are and what steps you need to take to be able to achieve those goals, be it through getting more information about the products that your clients are most interested in, learning more about where you may want to focus your ad spend, for example, for the future with regards to growing that base. But I think that there's tremendous opportunity that takes all that you've developed through whatever product you've developed, whatever shop you've set up on Shopify, and allows you to take that to the next level and to get your shop, to get your products in front of more people and optimally in front of the right people, so that that energy is being really well spent.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is the right people. So I started HubSpot because it was free when I joined. But and it is for if you're only using a CRM. But what I really loved about it is, so when people are answering you in your email provider inbox, then you can actually see when people have contacted you. So it'll pop it up and say, hey, you haven't spoken to this person in 2 days or 3 days. Do you need to answer them? So a lot of the times we get emails from customers and it just falls through the cracks, and then they contact us and we go, no, we didn't contact that customer, which we should have. And that is one of the huge benefits I think about. So tell us, what is a CRM? A lot of my peeps don't know what a CRM is.
So a CRM is essentially how you manage all of those contact records that you want to be able to keep track of, to know who you're working with. And this is inclusive of your customers, it's inclusive of your partners, everyone who is involved within your business strategy. And it helps you to keep track of that information in a way so that you can make the best choices about what the needs are for your business with regards to that follow-up. And the more powerful of a CRM you have access to, the more capacity that it has, the more it really serves as, I think, a support of your team, an actual team member in many ways, to help you focus, to help you get things done, to help you know where you need to be focusing your efforts, so that it's not just a needle in the haystack or a shot in the dark to figure out with whom you should be following up and why.
Yeah. Okay, so here's an example. So I had one of my clients explode. I mean, she just went from 1 to 385 in 3 hours orders. And so her biggest situation was that she could not email her customers while she was doing the orders. So Shopify will send them, hey, you've bought this, that's fine. And it will only send them another email when it's shipped. So HubSpot could do that in between. Hey, we're still busy with your product, if we have to do this by hand, so it takes some time. So that is what the benefit of having a CRM system is, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I would add to that, how many times have you been in a shopping situation before where the company doesn't appropriately update the process of their orders. And
No.
so you've been promised you'll get something sent in 5 business days, and it's 10 business days, and you're sending a message, and it turns out they're actually in between processes, but they don't have any way to mark that in the system. So you didn't know that. Imagine taking that friction out for your customers, either through those automated emails, having a better sales pipeline in place or better service pipeline in place to help your customers understand where they are in the process. That's what makes them want to continue to work with you in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to keep, I mean, and the thing that she said was she was very open and front about it. She said that there were customers shouting at her and leaving messages on her phone and sending her little shitty emails and being on Facebook and saying, hey, you know what the hell's going on? And I mean, very, very, customers always think they're the most important people, which they obviously are. But I mean, in this situation, I mean, she couldn't do anything about it. She was working literally 18 hours a day to get those orders out, but her customers didn't know that. And so she worked really hard at getting them out, but she couldn't tell them because it was not set up the right way. And we always learn when things are happening, and afterwards you go, oh yeah, we should have had this done. But you should actually have the system up and running before this happens, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's a number of ways that, you can really set up different workflows, different email automation to help you tell the story, to help people understand that there's a face behind that small business that's getting that order ready.
Yes. Yes.
And it builds a lot of buy-in, not only to a sense of compassion with regards to just what happens when these businesses do blow up overnight, but it also can really develop some loyalty to your brand. It's what helps folks want to really work with you as they're going forward as well, I think.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, everybody says, oh, well, email is dead, but email's not dead. Email is still so important. And these days, it is also important is, I know Shopify, they can get notified by text. So we can implement this on HubSpot as well, right?
So that's actually something I would need to look further into with
I
regards to
know.
just all of the details of how you can
Yes.
set up that text automation. But I know that there's a lot
Yes.
of these tools that you can really hone
Yes,
in on in
exactly.
terms of
And
making sure you've got the right message.
exactly. And the chatbot, if you have
Hmm.
a chatbot on your website, it's linked to a messenger on Facebook. So it's linked to all these little places that where your customer pops up and says, hey, I need help right now.
Hmm.
You can actually be right there for them. And I find that sometimes it's like too much. It's like too much information connection with the customer. So they shut it off and then they shut it back up, they put it back up again. But because a lot of people start off and they are themselves and themselves and themselves, this is it. You do everything that you have to do in your company, so you can't actually do what you can't actually be in contact with every customer. But here's the thing: is if you automate your chatbot, if you automate your email, so it sends out those first connections with your customers, then it creates that bond with them, and they know that you care about them.
Absolutely. And those chatbots can save so much time as well in
Yes.
terms of, setting up your frequently asked questions and making sure that those automated order status
Yes.
chats can go out so that you can have your support team or yourself, if you're the one running that chat, really be focusing on those questions that need that person to person touch, and get people the answers quickly for the things that don't necessarily either.
And then Shopify, this is what I've found fascinating. So you guys created the Shopify API to connect to Shopify. It's not just an app. It is you added it to your platform so it actually works properly. Which I always believe that if there are too many little bits and pieces, those bits and pieces start breaking down, and you can see exactly on a dashboard. And I know Shopify have it as well, but you can see who's coming from where, what they're doing, where they're coming from, what they're shopping for, and actually then segment these into your email sequence, and then have your emails be more personalized to your customers.
Absolutely. And in addition to email personalization, you can also use all of that valuable information for reporting purposes that help you make decisions about what you need to do going forward as well. What does it mean if you're seeing that you have a lot of leads coming from one particular channel? What does that mean in terms of your investments, either into that channel or other channels as well?
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
not necessarily having to, it takes the guessing work out of it and allows you
Yes.
to really use the data to inform your decision making.
Yes. And I use all my forms in HubSpot, because on Shopify, so it goes straight back into hey, these forms. This form has 2 or 3 people that answered, so you know exactly where people are actually signing up for and what they're signing up for on your website, which I found invaluable because, I mean, I've used Mailchimp a long time before I started moving. Then I used Klaviyo, then I went and moved to HubSpot. But it's very awkward to set up a form and there's no formatting or anything. I mean, it's fabulous. So as soon as I started using HubSpot, I just boom, 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 create the form, pop it in, and it just comes up beautifully. That's
Mhm.
one of the benefits because most people are not technically actually capable of doing these extra things that you need to do, and it makes it so much easier. I know I'm sounding like a little rah-rah fan, but I found it so much easier just to work with one platform where it has all of these options rather than using 3 or 4 or 5 different platforms that pop up and they each have their own little dashboard that you have to work with.
I think we really take the guesswork out of form creation, even out of landing page creation as well. I find that the functionality of how folks can go in and build out their landing
Yes.
pages, build out their forms is so user friendly,
Yeah.
and it creates access for people who don't necessarily feel like that's a space that they feel really comfortable in.
Exactly, yes. And also the newest thing that I've seen is the actual you have the social things where you can start you can actually use the plan to push out your social posts and stuff like that as well, right?
Connect your social media
Yes.
to HubSpot, and then also be able to avail of some of the reporting and getting a better view into how your social media is performing and what that's doing on behalf of your
Yeah.
brand as
I never like it when they tell me it's down. It's like a little red arrow. It's like, no, this can't be down. So,
and that's, I think we've tried to create lots of opportunities for you
yes.
to pull in all of the different pieces of technology that you're using so that you can really host it in this one powerful
Yes.
platform, bring it all of it together.
Yeah, so what I did is and I talked to one of my friends about it. She's in marketing as well, and I said, okay, so I'm using all these different platforms to actually create the posting, and I use this for emails, and I use this for something else, and something else, and something else, and it's like once you look at the whole basket of softwares that you use, and you go, wow, you can have this all in one spot. And I think that most people, I mean, it gets so confusing. I was having a discussion on a workshop this last week, and one of my little weak clients said, this is all so confusing, there's so many things. And she had HubSpot, and I go, this is ridiculous. She had HubSpot, she had Klaviyo, she had I don't know, I mean, the business manager sort of said 5 different softwares, and she was starting out. I mean, it's just
Mm,
crazy to use all these softwares, and it just drives them, literally drives them crazy because they do not know where to start. So I
mhm.
always believe in starting simple, right? Start simple, just start with one thing and then move on to another thing and see if you are capable of actually growing within the software.
Absolutely. And that's one thing that I love about HubSpot is that, as you mentioned earlier, you can get the CRM for free. I mean, and
I
it's an
know.
incredible CRM for free. You can start out with starter tools and figure
Yes.
out, learn more about how you can grow your business within HubSpot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a number of tools across the hubs that are actually unlocked and freely accessible to you, even if you are only purchasing one particular plan, so that you get to test that out as well. So I think they give you a lot of leeway to really get a sense of how the system's going to work for you.
Yeah, I was amazed. I mean, I've only discovered it because I have no idea how I got onto HubSpot, but I was testing different things out, and it's one of the things. And oh, because it was free, I love free. So I thought, I'm going to try the CRM out, because one of the things where most shopping platforms fall down is a decent CRM, and they are not a CRM platform, they are a shopping platform. So that aspect of their software or platform is always underdeveloped. So you have this whole bucket of customers that are like, they're your buying customers, they are the spam you get from newsletters, they are, so just random people that sign up that you can't really put into buckets unless you put it into another software.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Absolutely.
what and as I said, the email thing just blew me away. I was like, I don't want to talk to this person today. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that reminder is, and as Donna was saying, she literally, that's one of the biggest things that she said that she fell down on is, and she was always at least 2 weeks behind. So this whole thing blew up in about it ran for about 3 months, of where she had 600 orders at one time, all day, every single day, that she was trying to catch up on. So she would only catch up in 2 weeks, and then a new lot will come, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where she would fall down, is where she could not contact the customers, or it was not an automated situation where it kept them updated of, okay, so hit a button and then the next lot goes out, so okay, all you have to do is hit a button, and then something will go out to your customers. And I think this is she didn't realize it, and this is the second time we've done this. She was on TV, by the way. She was on TV 5 years ago, and she got 100 orders. We can handle 100 orders, right? But this time it was like, it just blew up. It was 385 orders in 3 hours, and it never stopped for 2 months. So if she was prepared, she probably would have retained so many more customers. And I think she probably lost about 10%, maybe even more. I haven't talked about it, how many she actually lost of customers that she could have, maintained, because obviously the business goes up and it comes down again, right? So you have to build it up again. So I'm going to definitely try that out and see how that works, and see if I can implement that into her system.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
so the Shopify integration it actually follows the orders as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. So the way that the information comes into HubSpot, you're able to see where the order status is, and essentially you're able to have a view within HubSpot of the information that's being pulled in through Shopify, so that you can make sure that the appropriate updates or the appropriate messaging is going out around that as well.
Okay, fabulous. And then and so yes, so you link that to your emails, and you can have that link to the social part of it as well. You also have a blog, although Shopify do have a blog capability as well. So not everybody actually uses the blog, but it's one of the, so and I know that HubSpot, the SEO on the blog is fabulous.
Yes, yeah. And I would say, just like many of the other tools, we're trying to build out tools like the blog, like the landing pages. If you're hosting your website on HubSpot, like the CMS hosting, to really make sure that we're helping our clients optimize for SEO, and that we're doing what we can through technology to help them get ahead of that as well.
Yeah. So the website, is that a new option?
So CMS is our newest hub. We offer hosting and website development through HubSpot CMS. And so, I think that there's, again, a number of tremendous benefits associated with hosting through HubSpot, through taking advantage of all of the different themes that you can build your website out or migrate your website over to look at too. And we actually I was just talking to a partner the other day who has, provided really good insight into why you might consider moving over from a WordPress or from some of the other hosting platforms to look at HubSpot too.
Believe me,
Many ways to grow.
I'm not a fan of WordPress. I have clients on WordPress. I'm not a fan of WordPress because it's so difficult. You have to be able to you have to be able to look at the back end of HTML and CSS and all these other fancy words, and be a web developer to work on WordPress. It's not the easiest thing.
Right.
So what we will finish with is, how do you get on HubSpot?
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's a lot of ways
Mhm.
that you can connect with our team to start to try out HubSpot. I'd always recommend, going ahead and trying out that free CRM first and foremost.
Yes,
That's why we have extended that opportunity to clients, is so that you have a chance to take a look at what you're getting into before you
yes,
make that fit. It is a big
yes,
decision. It's a lot of product. So going to HubSpot.com, going ahead and downloading that free CRM as that first point of getting started. And then, Veronica, I'm sure that you're going to be providing a lot of additional information about all of the things that people can
yes,
do through
yes,
the integration
yes.
as well, too.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys are moving so fast. I know we came from inbound, just at inbound, you were announcing so many new parts of, and I mean, I just went, oh my Lord, I can't keep up with all this. That's why the CMS, well, the website thing, sort of, I went, what? You can actually create a website on this. So I'll definitely start promoting that to my customers as well, because a lot of them start on WordPress and it's just so confusing on WordPress compared to where it's just easy, just drop and shop, or whatever I call it, drop and put your stuff in and then off you go. And then you have your CRM. I don't all these acronyms, right?
CMS, CRM.
Your CRM, and then also your forms and everything is right there in the same system. I actually love that. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a great selling point for me to promote HubSpot. So anyways, so thank you so much. If anybody has any questions about HubSpot, you can we'll have a little bit of a question answer after this. You can ask Anne or you can ask me, and I will be answering, and Anne will be answering all the questions afterwards in the comments. So just pop them in the comments, and we will be back with our next speaker. Thank you, Anne, for popping in. I can't believe you actually are here and participating. I'm so happy that you are. Thank you, grateful.
Thanks so
And I'm
much for
very
having me. Take care.
okay. Thank you. Bye.